Four friends, Navin, Santosh, Manish and Praveen, completed their education in different fields and decided to have a small get-together. This is an old story when they decided to meet up at a luxurious hotel in their city. They managed to gather some money for tea and snacks. As they enjoyed their tea and snacks, they had a great time joking and laughing. When it was time to pay the bill, the waiter brought it over and they began a light-hearted conversation. One of them suggested that they meet again after 40 years to see who had achieved the most in life. They agreed to meet on January 1, 40 years later, at the same hotel. The one who arrived last on that day would pay the bill, and they all agreed to this bet. The waiter, who was listening to their conversation, remarked how interesting their wager was. They confirmed their plan, and Aaron, who was the waiter of that hotel, joined in, saying he would love to witness their reunion after 40 years. 40 years passed, and the city had transformed. It had become a bustling metropolis with flyovers and towering buildings. The old hotel they had visited was now a luxurious 5-star establishment, and the once humble waiter, Aaron, had become its owner. Each of the friends had pursued their own paths. One became an engineer, another a government employee, one started a successful clothing business, and the last one a jewelry shop owner. They had all settled into their respective lives. The agreed-upon day arrived, and they all remembered their promise to meet. Navin, who had become a successful luxury car dealer, arrived first. He recognized Aaron, who was now the hotel owner, and he reminisced about the conversation they had had 40 years ago. Navin was delighted with the transformation of the hotel. Santosh, who had entered politics, arrived next, and they caught up on each other's lives. Manish, the owner of a thriving jewelry showroom, arrived soon after, and they continued their conversation about business. They were eagerly waiting for Praveen, who had yet to show up. Worried about his absence, they discussed the situation. Just as they were about to leave, the waiter informed them that Praveen had called and asked them to start dinner without him. Dinner commenced, but Praveen still hadn't arrived. After they finished their meal, it was time to settle the bill. Aaron, the hotel owner, brought the bill and said, "Your bill has already been paid online. There's no need for you to pay." This took them by surprise, and they wondered why Praveen had paid the bill without joining them. Feeling disappointed and perplexed, they left the restaurant. As they walked away, a government vehicle pulled up, and a young man rushed towards them, bowing in respect and addressing them as uncle. He introduced himself as Praveen's son and informed them that his father had sent him to convey his regards. Praveen, who had worked diligently and risen through the ranks, had become the collector of the city. He had been diagnosed with cancer and knew that he might not live to see the planned reunion. Therefore, he had made all the arrangements in advance and asked his son to meet his friends on his behalf. With tears in their eyes, the three friends listened to Praveen's son. They decided that instead of meeting every 40 years, they would make an effort to meet regularly, cherishing the time they had together. They realized that time was precious, and they didn't want to wait for 40 years to pass by. They understood that life was unpredictable, and one never knew when a dear friend might be lost forever. This story is not just about those friends, it's about all of us. We often meet our own people at someone else's celebration, be it a wedding, a party, or a function. Let's not wait for such occasions. Start donating your time to your loved ones, those who matter in your life. If you keep waiting, who knows when someone may leave your side? Human life is truly as fragile as a bubble.